Do you remember? Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you. Hit the like button, share button, retweet button. Join, become a member. Forgot what I was going to say then, really, but welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Transfer news aplenty for you this morning. We want to hear from you, though. We want your views, we want your opinions on what's going on in the world of football, in the transfer market, which has got everybody guessing at every turn. We're going to dissect some of those stories. You may have some that you want us to discuss as well. Make sure you check out our exclusive interview that came out last night with Liverpool correspondent and transfer expert David Lynch, talking about Thiago to Liverpool and the fact that most other links are absolute, what's the word I'm looking for? Nonsense, really, in relation. But there we go. So there's Baldy. Yes, I have shaved my head. It's been like that for a couple of months now. Only just noticing. Harry Robertson, one of our recent members. Morning. Hello to you, David, another member. Says, good morning, all. I guess the Grealish deal may have depended on whether they go up or not. Now the window is open. Let's get Sancho this week. Well, we're going to delve into that very soon. We're going to talk Jadon Sancho. We're going to talk Jackie Grealish. We're going to speak Ben Chilwell as well. They're the three main stories. The three main stories that we're going to speak about today. There we go. A comment here says, I don't know if United overpay for Sancho. Now is not the time to get worried about that. He's 20 years old, performs at the elite level. We will recoup that 100 million as he gets better. Ed, just pay the money. And I get that train of thought completely. I understand why Man United fans would want that to be the case. What? Just pay the money, Ed. Pay it. You do need to be careful, though. Man United has spent 12 to 18 months in the transfer market trying to reconvince rivals and opponents that we're not going to be dragged over the coals for prices. We are asserting ourselves in the market. We did it with Bruno as an example. Did it with AWB. The only player where we ended up paying what they originally wanted was in the Maguire situation, but we couldn't get that to a point where Maguire outright said he's only joining us and nobody else. We managed to do that with AWB and of course with Bruno Fernandes. So we are trying to get the price down. I still think United will get. Remember, Dortmund won 120 to 130 million. Anything underneath that means we've negotiated them down, so it deserves absolute applause when it happens. Am I prepared for that to take an extra 2, 3, 4 weeks from now to get that done? Personally, yes. Although I would like to see the deal announced sooner rather than later. We're going to delve into what Sky said in a few moments. Interestingly, they kind of feel that United have called their interest in Jack Grealish. I am really wondering where they have got that information from. And they're going to focus on Sancho instead. I just believe it's a very diluted and watered down way that these deals are done. In fact, I don't think the deals are done in this way. I think you can work on more than one deal at the same time, if I'm being absolutely honest. I'm not too sure how these stories transpire in the way they do, but do us a massive favor here at the Football Terrace. Please hit the like and share button. As I say, you can call in via Skype if you want to come on and have your say. We will check into the Ben Chilwell deal in a few moments, but essentially, Chilwell, what we have heard is Chilwell is expected to tell Leicester City this week that he wants out of the club and hand in an official transfer request. Chelsea fans, how are you feeling about that? But let's take a little look at what Sky have had to say about the Sancho being the priority and the calling of the interest of Jack Grealish.
Number one summer transfer target, and we're told today that representatives from Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United are working hard to find a solution for the transfer of Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. And those discussions are centering around not only a transfer fee, but also quite significantly the structure of that transfer fee. Now, look, that's the easy part, because Borussia Dortmund, they are not budging from their valuation, believed to be 120 million euros. That works out around, well, in excess of 100 million pounds. And they want a deal sorted one way or another by August the 10th. Why August the 10th? That's when Borussia Dortmund returned for pre-season training. And it then gives them time to find a replacement if Manchester United come up with the money and all the other terms are satisfactory for Sancho to go to Old Trafford. However, Manchester United, as it stands, are not willing to meet Dortmund's asking price. There are two reasons for this. Firstly, they've taken a huge hit, as of many other clubs, during the pandemic financially. And second, they are the only club to have officially approached Borussia Dortmund about Sancho. So Manchester United's thinking might be, why are we willing to pay that much money for what is effectively a one-horse race? Because we're not in competition with another.
So it's really important to focus on that bit for a moment. We spoke about this many, many times on this channel, on this platform, and they're right. They're very, very right in what they're saying here. And it's important to not get deterred when it comes to this. One, we're the only team in for him. Secondly, next year, in a year's time, he goes into the final year of his contract, meaning the valuation will drop dramatically on Sancho. And also, Dortmund themselves are going to try and drive down the price of the player or the players they bring in to replace Sancho. Man United know this, so this is where it becomes a negotiation and a bit of a battle. But you have to stay strong as a football club.
Other club, yes, Real Madrid and Liverpool and a few other clubs do like Jadon Sancho, but they simply can't do the deal at the figures being mentioned. Now, as for Sancho himself, he wants Champions League football. Manchester United can now offer Champions League football following that victory over Leicester City on Sunday. Furthermore, Sancho's contract runs out in 2022. Now, that could work in Manchester United's favour, because with less than 2 years left of his contract, they might think, well, hold on, we can get a good deal for Jadon Sancho here. But Borussia Dortmund, it must be said, are very relaxed about the situation. They will happily keep him and sell him next summer, albeit for a lower price. It should also be said that Manchester United are, shall we say, quite significantly looking at alternatives to Jadon Sancho, notably a loan move. This came out of the blue last week, didn't it, for the Bayern Munich winger, Kingsley Coman. If you read between the lines, is that a way of Manchester United trying to nudge Borussia Dortmund into trying to do business and at a price that would be agreeable to Manchester United?
Well, I think that's more of a nudge to Sancho to push for the deal. I really, really do. But one thing I disagree with there is, I look, Dortmund are a very sensible club. They run very well from a financial standpoint. They are not going to want this deal to go to next summer, because they know they're going to get less money for him, regardless of the, football could recover financially between now and then, but they're still going to see a reduction on the price that United are willing to pay now
for Jadon Sancho.
So a classic brinkmanship there from Manchester United. What about their other targets, the other alternatives, indeed? Because we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is an admirer of Jack Grealish. What would that mean for United's pursuit of Grealish?
Yeah, look, we're told this afternoon that United's interest in Jack Grealish has cooled. Those are the words that we've been told today. And a big reason for this is the transfer fee. His transfer fee will have held firm following Aston Villa's maintenance of their Premier League status. And it's thought it would take around £80 million to buy Jack Grealish. Another factor is, where would Grealish fit into the current Manchester United team? The arrival and the form of a certain Bruno Fernandes means there might not be any room for another attacking midfielder. And the front three, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood, have established themselves as the front three at Manchester United Football Club. Look, a move for Grealish cannot be ruled out altogether, but it seems, as it stands, that the key transfer target and the number one target for Manchester United this summer is Jadon Sancho of Borussia Dortmund.
So there you have it. Look, I think everything they said there about Jack Grealish makes sense. Do I think United have genuinely called their interest, genuinely want to pull away, genuinely want to stop pursuing the potential transfer of Jack Grealish? No, not me. I think it's a tactic. Jack Grealish wants to move to Man United again. A big story that seems to be getting ignored by a lot of people, but the sort of local sort of Birmingham-based media have picked up on this regularly, that Grealish wants this move. Grealish is pushing for the club to come to a resolution. What Villa are not going to want next year, they're going to be up against it. They're going to be they may even be one of the favourites to go down next year. The one thing they're not going to want is Jack Grealish being unhappy, feeling as though the club have stopped the move, it's bad business for them. It really is. They're better off getting a decent amount of money in for him now, buying good quality replacements, and preparing for next season. What they don't want is to go into September and then even into the early part of October with this hanging over their heads, and then January coming around and this hanging over their heads. I think one of the biggest distractions that Villa had between January and now was the Jack Grealish situation. He wasn't even the same player during these rumors. So I think this is good tactics by Manchester United to say, okay, well, you want 80 million, we're just going to walk away. Wait for Jack. I would be, if I was Man United, I would be sending little people out to chat with Jack Grealish, fire intermediaries, if, of course you need to, from a legality point of view, just planting that seed into his ear that, United still really want you. They're really interested, but they're just not prepared to pay 20, 30, 40 million above your asking price. And I think that if they can get Jack Grealish to do a lot of the dirty work for them behind the scenes with Villa, that will pay dividends. There's no doubt about it. On the Sancho situation, all eyes the 10th of August when he's due back with Dortmund. For me, as I say, if United can get that deal down to around the £100 million mark, give or take, I feel like it would be there. Cedric here says, Terry, when I heard that the guy on Sky Sports News yesterday talk about the Sancho to United, I swear to God, it was word for word exactly what you said weeks ago. Well, yeah, look, I've said that the thing all along. When you break down the Sancho deal, we haven't changed our stance really at all. We know that he wants to join. Personal terms haven't been a problem since March. There was no official approach from the club on paper for a while throughout lockdown. Dortmund didn't want to start negotiations until their transfer running had almost come to an end. United are not prepared to pay over the odds anymore because of the situation. There isn't a bidding war because the other big clubs that like him can't afford him or are not going in for him. Next year, his valuation drops, so Dortmund are not going to want to miss out on him too much. And they're not going to force through pre-COVID prices because that means that Dortmund will be forcing themselves to paying them. Cedric, you're right. And I know I said a lot of those things, but because it just makes logical sense. And this is where I think I've upset quite a few rival fans when it comes to talking about deals. There's just logic in these. We spoke to a Liverpool expert last night who said exactly what I've been saying for months. It's difficult for Liverpool to sign particular players because there isn't the room in the squad for them. And you can't sign first-team starters to sit on your bench when they're coming from elite-level clubs. What you can do is sign players of Jack Grealish and Maddison's level and start them on the bench and bleed them through because they're currently not playing at your level. But look, these things are all just logic, in my opinion. But I appreciate you noticing and pointing it out, Cedric. I really, really do. Terry, we should go for Van der Beek, cheaper and better. Different positions, though, as well. So it's a slightly different player to Jack Grealish. We should go for him, yes. But let me ask you this question. If Van der Beek doesn't want to join, then what? That's the big question. But listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, thank you. Take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.